Hello. Today we have the gamer kid. So basically, the gamer kid invited me to do a Mega Man game tier list with him, or look at his tier list. Um,
Yeah, here I am, guys. Um, Hope you all enjoyed today's video. Okay, the indomizer, what do you think of my tier list?
um, I agree with it, but there's some things that are I don't agree with either. Like the Mega Man 9 and D tier, I personally disagree with. I think Mega Man 9's a pretty great game,
I mean,
and
yeah, I can see great OST, good weapons. To be honest, I think I should do a replay just to double check my opinion. But yeah, so
for us, um. And for C tier, I think that Mega Man 1, I agree, is in C tier. I think Mega Man 8 is pretty uh, understandable for C tier. But and I also kind of agree that Mega Man 11 is kind of mid. And some people might get mad at that. And I think Dr. Wily's Revenge is a pretty bad game, honestly. I would personally put it in D tier along with Mega Man World 3.
I mean, yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's not me saying I like the game either. To be honest, I don't think. I think, in my opinion, Mega Man World 3 is a bit more overwhelming than Dr. Wily's Revenge, but it's also the first Mega Man World game, so I kind of want to cut it some slack.
Alright, that's understandable. And for B tier, Mega Man 2 and B tier. Not Mega Man 2, but like Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy, Mega Man World 2. I think Mega Man World 2 and B tier is understandable enough. I do believe the game is a little overhated, except it's just really, really easy, so I can't really cut it that much slack. Not
Yeah,
really that much.
yeah. To be honest, the only reason why I put it in B tier is just because I like easy games in general.
Yeah. And Mega Man 10 in B tier, I can understand. Personally, I would put Mega Man 10 in A tier. Then for Mega Man 7, I think I would put Mega Man 7 way higher. Mega Man 7's like one of my favorite Mega Man games ever. Um, Mega Man 5 is also one of my favorite Mega Man games. And Mega Man 3 in B tier is also understandable. I would also put Mega Man 3 in B tier. And for Mega Man X2, I would definitely put that in S tier. And I actually think Mega Man X2 is just a slight bit better than the original X.
I can see that, but there are some downgrades to it, like the soundtrack, the weapons, and yeah.
Personally, I think the soundtrack in Mega Man X2 is amazing, and it's nearly as good as X1, although Mega Man X1 does have like one of the best soundtracks in history. But Mega Man X2 soundtrack, especially Flame Stag's soundtrack, like is amazing in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
I can see how your favorite can be Flamestack's music. I mean, to be honest, my favorite theme is probably going to be Bubble Crab's theme.
Bubble Crab's theme is pretty great. And in A tier, the final tier, Mega Man Powered Up. I haven't played Mega Man Powered Up, but it looks like a really fun game. Then for Mega Man 4 is like one of my favorite Mega Man games. It took everything from Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, and just made it instantly better. Then for Mega Man 2, I think I would also put Mega Man 2 in A tier. It's just like a really great game, improved on Mega Man 1, just a little bit glazed by fans. And Mega Man World 5 is pretty great. Mega Man World 4 is pretty great. Mega Man X1 is amazing. And Mega Man 6 is at the top. And I don't think Mega Man 6 is like my number one favorite, but Mega Man 6 is pretty great. I won't deny that. Um, Definitely very overlooked. People say it's bad. Personally, I love Mega Man 6 to death. And yeah.
Yeah, personally, every time I think about Mega Man 6, I always have something just a very vibe, just something that's vibey stands out for me. I don't know why, just I'd say Mega Man 6 probably has the most charming art out of the any many of the any many the NES games. I think it's a great finale than the NES trilogy.
Yeah, the levels are amazingly decorated in Mega Man 6. Like, it's the most visually appealing Mega Man game on the NES. So many different details and backgrounds. The soundtrack especially really brings you into the world of the game.
Yeah.
Although Tomahawk Man is a bit of a racist, so that marks off a couple points, but still a great game.
Yeah, I guess there are some low points to it, so it is pretty easy, but at least it's enjoyable.
Yes, Mega Man 2, even on hard mode, I think it's just a bit like really easy, except for the Wily stages. I also think Quickman stage is very easy, like even without Flashman's weapon. You just need to memorize where to go left and right.
Hmm. Yeah, but to be honest, Hitman stage I guess is also easy. Depends if you have item two, I can clear that level with no problem. And normal mode isn't too hard. It's just the damage values. But to be honest, that's about it.
Mm. So, in Mega Man World 4, I definitely think is pretty great and underrated, along with World 5, because Mega Man World 5 actually added like original stuff, but Mega Man World 4 is also great because it just has really great level design. And I saw a lot of people complaining about Crystal Man stage, but I didn't have that much trouble with Crystal Man stage, other than having to use a couple save states in the stage.
Yeah, I didn't have much trouble with him either. But if I'm going to replay this game, I might just save him for last because his level is probably the most challenging. But other than that, it's not that hard.
Uh, So, how excited are you to play the rest of the Mega Man games?
So to be honest, I have a copy of Battle Network 3. I'm looking to play Extreme 1 and Extreme 2 in the future. I have a PS copy of X4 and X6 and Mega Man Legends and 8. I also have a PS2 copy of X8. Um, and then yeah.
Um, Mega Man X4 is my favorite Mega Man game of all time. It also has one of the most goated soundtracks in all of gaming. Not just in Mega Man, it's like one of the best video game soundtracks. So cinematic and kind of feels like something beyond a video game, like a
Yeah,
movie.
I'll say I want to play Extreme 1 and then X3 first just to kind of play it in chronological order before I play X4.
And X3 is also pretty great. The third armor is like the most overpowered armor in the series.
I have to say that the Mega Man X NES trilogy has like the best upgrades in like a Mega Man game.
Yeah, and I've played a little bit of Mega Man Extreme, um, and I thought it was right. I don't really like feel the need to play any more of Mega Man Extreme. I was actually planning on doing a sequel video to my Mega Man World review by doing this review on those two Extreme games, but I'm just not really that interested in beating them.
Hmm. Yeah, I haven't beat them yet, but I. So the reason I kind of want to beat Mega Man games to give a bit of a review, so I can read, the Robot Master stages, or Wily stages. So I may try to beat Extreme 1 and 2 to make a review on it. And also one more thing, have you heard of Mega Man Game Gear?
Yeah, I have. Um, I saw it all the time on YouTube, so then I decided to, play, Mega Man. Um, I decided to play the game online, using an emulator, and the game was kinda horrible. The screen crunch is really bad. Like, think of, like, Mega Man and Bass on the Game Boy Advance,
Oh
but,
yeah.
like, recreating Mega Man 4 and 5 stages. And also, the Quick Man stage at the end of the game, with a zoomed-in screen.
Yeah, I think it might take some good memorization to beat his level on the Game Gear. See, from what I've heard his trick from lasers. It's a bit weird. If you hit by the edge of laser, you don't get one-shotted, but if you're stuck in like the beam part of it, it's an instant death.
Uh, so, and also, if you get a game over in Mega Man for the Game Gear, you have to start it all over. There's not even a password system like the AES games. So it's like multiple levels behind.
Yeah, so kind of like maybe in one for the NES, like it didn't have passwords, so kind of like the same for Game Gear.
Yeah. And,
Okay, um, so I kind of want to get back to the X series. So you said X4 is good.
X3 is really great. X4 is amazing. I think Mega Man X5 is alright. I mean, there's some amazing stuff about Mega Man X5, including the soundtrack. And, like, the soundtrack of Mega Man X5 is just incredibly goated. Like, seriously. X vs. Zero especially is, like, probably one of my favorite songs of all time. And, but other than the soundtrack and some other great parts of the game, I think Mega Man X5 is just alright.
Yeah,
Mega Man,
from what I've heard, Mega Man X5 is criticized for its slow paced.
do you want me to keep talking?
Um, yeah, hold on, let me continue. And you can go. So what I've heard, X5 is slow paced and not as good as X4. With it has like kind of like stiff animations. From what I've heard.
Uh, yeah. Mega Man X5 is pretty slow paced in the levels, like way slower than X4 or any of the SNES Mega Man games.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't have a PS1 copy of it like I do with X4 and X6. So speaking of X6, I've heard from what I've heard, from like it being like overly difficult. I always think of Wood 3 and in this game too.
Yeah, Mega Man X6 is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the soundtrack is pretty great, but like that, like a good soundtrack, a goated soundtrack does not save an awfully designed game. Actually starts out pretty great with the intro stage, which is genuinely well designed, but then it just goes downhill, and the and Metal Shark Player stage especially is just gives back so many flashbacks when I think of that stage. The stages are designed horribly.
Yeah,
So unfair.
yeah. The I guess from what I've heard, the only well, I got you said all of them are bad, but what about Rennie Totaloid and the ice level? I don't know what his name is, but Yeah.
His name is Blizzard Wolfang, by the way, and for Rainy Turtloid's level is actually pretty fun. Until there's a nightmare effect which literally blocks out a whole bunch of the screen. Then it's not fun anymore, and it's just awful and painful. And for Blizzard Wolfang stage, it's just like awful. I hate the avalanches at the beginning and the ice cubes that try to crush you at the end. It's definitely a very annoying stage, along with the rest.
Yeah. And from what I've heard, the fortress stages and the bosses, especially Gate, are hard.
Yes, the fortress stages are pretty bad. And, actually had a really tough time with, um, Blaze Heatnik's stage, because it just spams you with the same incredibly annoying mini-boss over and over again, and it's extremely annoying.
Yeah, there's another infamous boss in here, the Mother, Nightmare Mother, or whatever.
M- Mega Man Mother,
No, it's
um,
Nightmare Mother. Hold on. I
oh,
f-
there's a Nightmare Zero who you fight, who's basically like,
Go ahead.
um, yeah, Nightmare Zero, which is basically like, a, now I'm not going to spoil anything from Mega Man X5, so it's basically like, if I tried to tell you who Nightmare Zero is, then I would be spoiling Mega Man X5. And Hymax is like, I completely forgot the whole, like, lore behind Mega Man X6, but, like, Hymax is like this big, like, uh, um, like, he's, colored black, and, he's an incredibly annoying boss fight. Like, I cannot beat Hymax without Rookie Hunter mode. Like, when you attack him, you only give him a single tiny little bit of damage.
Wow.
Like, yeah. And he's extremely powerful. He's super hard. And then you're required to fight him in the gate stages.
Wow. So speaking of Gate, what do you think about Gate himself?
Yeah, he's pretty annoying. You have to, like, hit the balls in the stage. You have to hit the balls that he's launching at you, which are three different colors. And,
Hmm.
you have to, like, split them or whatever. It's been a long while since I fought Gate.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I don't blame you. Okay, are you ready to wait, hold on? Before we move on to X7, do you think Sigma here is unneeded?
Yes, definitely. I think the story would have been way better if Gate was just a villain and Sigma actually died in X5.
Well, I mean, it's cool that they brought him back in X6 as a zombie, but from what I've heard, other than that, he's not really needed.
Yeah. It's like how Wily is the villain in every classic series game. It eventually gets old.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, are you ready to move on to X7, or do you want to continue to talking about X6?
X7. Yeah. X7 is like one of the worst games of all time. Like, I don't think there's a single stage in X7 that's slightly enjoyable. And other than like the bad voice acting and some other things, like the new character Axel, there's just not a lot of enjoyable things about Mega Man X7. And boss fights, like especially like the final boss fight against Sigma, his final phase, it's the single worst boss fight in the entire series. It's a
Yeah.
single reason why I can't beat X7 to this day.
Oh yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I also heard that people can't bring themselves to the finish. From what I've heard, Rockman 7, aka the Japanese version of X7, with I heard the boss fights go a bit faster and drain more health in the Japanese version compared to the American version for some reason.
Yeah, I haven't played the Japanese version, but I think that's probably the case. Um, Japanese version of the game also has, Code Crush, which is like, so like every game, like every game, like PlayStation 1 version of X3 and beyond had like a Japanese anime theme for the main theme. That kind of feels like electrical communication for Mega Man 8. Yeah, all of them are complete bangers, and Code Crush is no exception. Code Crush is the best part of X7. It's like the intro music in the Japanese version.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another trick if you somehow make it to. So here's a trick from what I've learned. If you have Zero on your team for the second form of Sigma, Zero's deflect move can help you not get hit by his punch attack. And when he does his little green energy balls or whatever, you can deflect them back to him doing damage.
Yeah, and the final boss of Sigma is so annoying and so, like, it was so confusing why I came across him. And the reason why I don't want to try to beat him now is because then I have to go through the entire final stage. And the entire final stage is basically like you can't have enough time to split all the stages up into different separate stages apparently. So they shoved the rest of the stages in the Crimson Palace, the boss rush, the boss fight against Red, and the final Sigma boss fight all into one single stage, which lasts like 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, I've heard the boss rush in X7 especially is like one of if not the worst boss rush because it's probably gonna take you a good chunk of minutes to defeat all these bosses, defeat Red to get to Sigma.
Yeah. And all of this is in one stage, which is just I don't know why they didn't just decide to split the stages up. They had way more time to develop this game than they did with X6. Yeah, it ended up being worse.
Yeah. Okay. Anything you want to say? Anything more you wanted to say about X7, or do you want to move on to X8?
The only thing left is that I think Mega Man X7 is kind of like the Sonic 06 of the Mega Man franchise. I've never played Sonic 06, but I've heard really bad things about it. And looking at it, yeah, Sonic 06 and Mega Man X7 have some pretty big similarities.
Yeah,
So,
same. It's kind of the same thing with me. I haven't played X6 yet, but I have played World 3 and beaten it. But to be honest, World 3 is probably the only classic Mega Man game that I've played that's actually like, overwhelmed me. So for now, for the X6, I always think of World 3. And I think that they have simulations to each other.
I want to move on to Mega Man X8, which I think is like way better than Mega Man X7. It's like an humongous improvement. They decided to switch to 2.5D instead of sticking with 3D because the 3D didn't work in X7.
Yeah,
You
to
could
be honest,
say they were
Yeah, to be honest, I think Batman if okay, yeah, so I think Batman X should be in 2D. So yeah, because it can't be in 3D because things to X7.
um, yeah, like and also there's no you can actually turn the navigation off, so there's no more Alia because you can turn the navigation completely off in Mega Man X8, which is such an amazing feature. And um, I kind of wish that you could switch to all three characters at the same time, but instead you have to like select two characters to use in the stage, like in X7.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wish the same thing applied to X7 with like X0 and Axel because I've heard a certain weapon for Axel, like the G launcher or whatever, helps with the boss rush in X7 because it could set it, from what I've heard, it can shred the boss healths.
Yeah. Um, and in Mega Man X8, Sigma actually isn't the main villain. It's Lair who makes a bunch of copy Sigmas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and at one point you do fight the real Sigma, but then Lumine. Sorry, it's not Lair. Lair's one of the navigators. The actual name is Lumine. He's a male, and Lumine, um, he's actually the final boss instead of Sigma, which is something new.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, the Sigma from X8 is a logical follow-up to X6, doing X7 because bad game in general. I don't think they had design of Sigma right there.
Mega Man X8. I think it's really great that they decided to try to do things differently. I mean, there's some stages that really suck in it, like uh, Note stage. I actually don't remember a lot of the Mavericks names in Mega Man X8, and uh, um the fire stage is also very infamous because of the auto scrolling at the beginning and the end of the stage, and also especially the UFO guy stage is like one of the worst stages in the entire X series. Like, I agree with Jay's reviews that like it's horrible.
Yeah, other bad stages, like from what I've heard, Burnt Rooster is another bad stage.
Yeah, and there's also uh, well uh you have to like chase a giant mechanoid in the grounds, not ground scavenge. Forgot his name, but you have to, that stage you have to like chase a giant mechanoid down, and then like in the second to last stage, you're basically just on an elevator, and you have to just completely like fight bosses and and spam on them as they come at you. And X8 Demake improved on the stage a lot by making it like an actual stage and not just standing there taking out enemies.
Cool. And another bad thing I've heard about X8 is the backtracking for hard things, sub things like the item game or whatever.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played Mega Man X8, but I think the backtracking was pretty bad in it.
Yeah, so kind
Um,
of like X5.
yeah. X8 Demake improved on a lot of things, and X8 Demake fixing everything made Mega Man X8 instantly one of my favorite Mega Man games of all time.
Mm.
Like, X8 Demake is seriously incredible. I've 100% of the game gotten all the hard takes, all the sub tanks, gotten all the armor pieces, and beaten the game, and even um unlocked the secret bosses in Optic Sunflower stages, which is pretty hard to do.
Wow. And do you want to finish up with X8 because I kind of want to move to Maverick Hunter X if you play that one.
Sure, you can keep talking about Mega Man X8. You wanna?
Yeah, actually you can continue because I actually haven't played this game, so I can't really speak much for myself.
Um, I already talked a little bit about the Mega Man Extreme series. I don't think there's a lot to say other than Mega Man Extreme 2 canonically taking place before Mega Man X4. So that basically means Iris isn't dead. So that's how it takes place before X4.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to move to Marvel Contest X now?
Um, uh, sure. Uh, then after the Mega Man X series, um, like after Mega Man X6 was released, creator of the series, I somehow forgot the name of, even though he's like iconic. It's like he literally created Mega Man. He made the company Inti Creates, and then they made the Mega Man Zero series, a series of 4 games. And okay, I've given my thoughts on the games in my shorts, but basically, I think Zero One and Zero Two. Zero One's kind of just okay. Zero Two's pretty good. Mega Man Zero Three is like a masterpiece, one of the best Mega Man games ever. Probably one of my favorite games ever. Like the gameplay is so amazing and so fast paced. It's like one of the fastest Mega Man games ever. Mega Man Zero Four um is also amazing, or even better than Zero Three. Like the difficulty balancing is the best. The pacing is the best. It's just at the best it's ever been. And the crafting system also adds a lot. Then Zero can double jump as well. And the ending, which I'm definitely not gonna spoil, like like it's just it's really sad. It made me tear up.
Uh, yeah. To be honest, I think it's good that many games have like good endings to make it worth completing.
Mm, eh, no, and, um, I like the design of Zero slightly more, but the Mega Man Zero series design of Zero is still like really greatly designed, pretty iconic, like great.
Yeah, I want to say one thing about the Zero series. I mean, to be honest, I can't. I saw a preview. I can't tell which one though, but I saw a preview of. Well, I saw a few previews from it. Like I've also watched your shorts, and to be honest, they look good, if not stunning, for GBA standards.
Oh yeah, and to mention as well, the soundtrack in every single Zero series game is incredible. I love the soundtrack in the whole Zero series. Especially like the Japanese themes, which are like possibly even better than the Mega Man X Japanese themes. Like the Zero series is just awesome and an incredible sequel to this X series.
Yeah, I want. From what I'm hearing, the Mega Man series is worth checking out, and I may do it in the future. I just want to play the the more Mega Man X games though before I jump into the series. Like I kind of want to go in chronological order.
Yeah, good point. Then are you going to play why are you going to play Mega Man in Base 2 Challenger to the Future? I first heard of that game, but I watched like video by Stuff We Play, who also reviewed Mega Man World Series games, and that's how I heard of the Mega Man World games. And Mega Man in 2 in Base 2 Challenger to the Future, it's really interesting because like it's like a WonderSwan game, which is a console that literally nobody has heard of. Well, not nobody, but like very little people has heard of. And Gwent also returns as the villain as Shadow Mega Man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually Quint though, but from the design, I can tell. Yeah, it kind of looks like Quint. Yeah, it does look like Quint.
Yeah, Challenger to the Future. It's definitely very interesting, and I would recommend it. Um, it can just be pretty hard at times.
Yeah. Speaking of Mega Man base, so the reason why I put Mega Man base at D2, I know it may sound harsh, but I just after I defeated Cold Man, I just could not get past Pirate Man or Burning Man stages.
Makes sense. Um, Iron Man and Burn Man stages are complete BS. Like, completely BS. Like, I understand you for it completely. Burner Man's horrible. And Pyro Man as well.
Yeah, so I just could not. I mean, I did enjoy the intro stage though and Coldman stage, but other than that, I could just not get into this game. And apparently, there's another infamous Mega Man boss named Dynamo Man.
Yes. Dynamo Man is horrible. He's like a million times worse than um Burner Man. Burner Man's stage is worse, but Dynamo Man's boss fight is worse than all of them combined.
Yeah, and worst of all, you have to face him again in the boss rush in the Wily stage. Speaking of, I think the fortress stages are pretty catchy.
Oh yeah. The soundtrack in Mega Man in bass is pretty great. I like the soundtrack a lot.
Speaking of infamous bosses in Mega Man base, King Jet. I haven't made it to him yet because Buddha Man and Power Man got me, but from what I've heard, King Jet and maybe the King Tank is horrible.
Mm. Uh, I'm not going to lie. Um, After Mega Man 8, you would think that they added Rush, and you would think that they added E-Tanks, but they didn't add those things. That's really bad, especially since Mega Man base is pretty hard. So, like, E-Tanks are pretty needed here. The E-Tanks just aren't here.
Yeah, even Mega Man 8, but even though Mega Man 8 did have less abilities, but also didn't have E-Tanks. So, but I kind of like it doing like a Super Nintendo throwback for like the kids in Japan who didn't have like Sega Saturns or PlayStation 1s and made it for the originated for the Japanese kids. I like to try to go there, but if we're gonna do a throwback, I think you might want to add E-Tanks. Because considering Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 8 did that already.
Right? That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, and also the reason why I want to go back to the X series, specifically X2. Um, after so the reason why I didn't like it at first because I found Ryu Stage and Overdrive Ostrich specifically to be challenging bosses, but I decided to start with Rio Gator and I went on with the game and I actually ended up enjoying it more.
Oh, real Gator. Um, yeah. I used to start with Wheel Gator 2, and um, I usually start with either Wheel Gator or start with um, Fire Sponge because they're the two easiest. And sometimes I even start with like Flame Stag because Flame Stag is actually easy and the only pattern is really like wall jumping and sometimes going on the ground to strike fire. As long as you stay on the wall, it's basically just like fighting Sigma from Mega Man X1. Not his final phase, but like his first phase where he's wall jumping.
Yeah. Hmm, I mean, yeah, yeah. Speaking of, do you think the Sigma or the Zero boss is good in this game?
Um, yeah, Sigma is Sigma is Wolverine is pretty great. And Sigma turning into the Sigma virus absolutely blew my mind when I was younger. Like, Sigma's literally a computer virus. Just wild.
Yeah, and I
And,
won't say it. I will say this: it does appear in X3, but I'm not gonna say how it does.
Yeah.
So I think X2 in general is ever since I saw the reveal data, I think that I say this is a unique Mega Man X game. I'm not sure if it's the best because that's the best Mega Man game is tougher for me because I think well, except for World 3 and the Revenge and some of these down here, it's generally good.
Yeah. X2 is pretty great, improved from like X1. And like you can do the mid-air dash, and like that makes Mega Man X2's armor pretty sweet and awesome. Uh, um,
Yeah.
and
Continue.
no, I just you can continue talking.
Okay. So I think I like what they did with the X Hunter system, where you have to collect all the parts, but if you defeat a certain amount of Mavericks, they disappear, or if you read them with the stage, they disappear.
Mm, mm, mm. So, um, X2 also has ride chasers, especially in our um overdrive ostriches stage. Like the ride chaser is used pretty greatly. It also has one of the best and most satisfying to grab hard tanks of all time.
Um, I guess, but to be honest, I personally find the Overdrive Ostrich and a bit of the Crystal Snail hard tanks atoms are kind of annoying to get, specifically Overdrive Ostrich.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. A hard tank is very hard to get, but it's extremely satisfying when you get it and like turn away from the spike as soon as you get the hard tank.
Yeah. One time I did actually get it though, and I crashed into I actually did crash into the spikes, but yeah, I remember one time I did grab it though.
Yeah. In Mega Man X2, there's also the Shiryuken, which you can unlock by getting all of the armor pieces and getting all the zero parts, and then then phasing through a wall in in a Sigma Stage 3. So it's a bit less complicated than like it's way less complicated than how you get the Hadouken. You have to die a lot of times.
I can see how you see that, but to be honest, I actually did get the Hadouken in the Legacy Collection. I didn't bother trying to get the Shoryuken because I may try to get it in the future just for achievement purposes, but I didn't really bother getting it.
Also, if you want to try and get the golden armor in Mega Man X3, oh boy, I've never gotten the golden armor myself. There's like a bunch of requirements, like not taking any of the pink capsules. I think you have to like unlock every ride chaser or not unlock every ride chaser, and like have some ride chasers and not all of them. It's like really confusing. I just tried not to get the pink parts, but then like I do some other thing and I don't get the golden armor.
Huh. And also, for the extra, you can get the Sea Saber. Um, to be honest, from what I've heard, I haven't played X3 yet. But the optional bosses, from what I've heard, I don't know if they're reasonable as reasonable as X2 because X2, if you defeat the X Hunters, you can get the Zero parts, which helps you get the good ending. But I don't see maybe except Vio because you unlock the mini boss or whatever as and you can defeat him at zero to get the Z Saber, but other than that I don't see the point of bitten by maybe you can maybe tell me about what they're for?
Um, the Z Saber, like, basically cuts down, like, half of the boss's health. That's right, like, literally half of the entire boss's health. That's how powerful the Z Saber is. That's how powerful the X Saber is, that is, because, like, X is using the Saber.
Yeah, it's so powerful it can even hit Sigma.
Yes. Um, yeah, there's also different alternate bosses for, um, in Dr. Doppler stages. I discovered by watching a guy named, Bean, who, played a bunch of, Mega Man games on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, um, I watched him a lot in, like, third grade, usually before going to school or after school, and, like, I was so fascinated by the alternate bosses. Like, if you don't defeat Vile, then he's the boss in, stage 2. However, then if you defeat Vile, who's like a secret boss, then Dr. Doppler stage 2 will be like completely destroyed, and instead you'll fight a giant squid. Then for Dr. Doppler stage 1, it'll be if you defeat both Bit and Bite, who are kind of like the X Hunters, they randomly show up in the stages. If you defeat both of them, then you don't have to fight them combined to just fight a giant crusher. But if you don't defeat them, then you have to defeat them combined, which I've heard is like a pretty hard boss fight.
Ah, so, okay, so from what I've heard, if you so here's what I'm hearing. If you don't defeat him, you get a harder boss. But if you defeat Bit and Bite, you get a bit of an easier boss.
Yes. And I think the squid is easier than a Vile, although Vile is still pretty easy in his ride chaser.
Yeah, to be honest, I did and Vio in X1, I find him to be an interesting, I guess, villain since you can't destroy him when he's in his right over. But if you in the first Sigma Fortress, Zero will I guess destroy it, and you can actually fight him and destroy him and destroy Vio.
Yeah. However, in Mega Man X3, I guess he just has a weaker ride chaser, because then it goes down, it's X. Or X got better at its skills.
Yeah. So, do you want to continue? Do you have anything more to say about the X series, or do you want to move on to Mega Man ZX and CX Advent?
Mega Man ZX. I think Mega Man ZX1 is a pretty fun game. It's not a very good Metroidvania. I don't think you should go into it expecting a good Metroidvania, but it is very fun, and, the main character, Isle, I'm not even gonna lie, hear me out on Isle. And then, like, and the game, just in general, like, really fun, um, and I do kind of like the idea of a Mega Man Metroidvania. Very creative.
I mean, I'm not really into Metroidvanias, but I may check it out, considering it is a Mega Man game after all.
For ZX Advent, it's also pretty great, except for the voice acting which they added, and the voice acting's pretty terrible, and especially on the Moose, which is like another, once again, another racist stereotype for Mega Man. Boy,
Yeah, from what I've heard, CX7 is improvement. Like they fixed the map issue. From what I've heard, this CX game had like a confusing map.
Yeah. Um, the map can get a bit confusing. It's just not that good at being a Metroidvania, but it is fun and the idea of like morphing into different things is also extremely cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So you want to move on to the Battle Network series?
Yeah, Battle Network. I haven't played a lot of the Battle Network games, but I've played Battle Network 1 is pretty great. Battle Network 4 I played a bit of. Honestly, I did not like a lot of the backtracking. I think the worst part of the Battle Network series is the backtracking you have to do constantly. You could get pretty lost, and the only way I progressed through the game was like watching walkthroughs on YouTube, just following what the playthrough guy does, which kind of isn't really that fun, but like I just get lost in the stages easily, man.
Yeah, I have a copy of Battle Network 3, so I've heard it's an RPG, and I'm really not really into RPGs, but again, considering it's a Metal game, I'll check it out.
Yes, and then I've heard from the Star Force series, it's even better, and I'm personally very excited to play that Star Force collection.
To be honest, never played the Star Force series, but I may check it out in the future, though.
Yeah, the games on the DS are extremely expensive, especially Star Force 2 and 3. However, the Star Force Legacy Collection seems it'll only cost like $60 or $70.
Hmm. That sounds. I mean, that does sound expensive, but for a collection, I guess it's not much of a biggie.
Yeah. Um, Mega Man, and yeah, I heard some of the soundtrack from Mega Man Star Force, and I absolutely love the soundtracks from Power Network and Star Force.
Okay,
Like,
and I've heard there's also a lot of these other editions, like there's also a lot of editions to the Battle games, like White Edition, Red Edition, Blue Edition, a lot of the other stuff.
it's just like Pokemon. And Star Force 1 actually has three versions. Leo, Dragon, and Pegasus. I've heard that Pegasus is the best version.
Yeah,
Actually, I asked like a Star Force Discord server and made polls on what their favorite versions were, and every single one of the polls was tied. So I guess I should play every single version then.
yeah. I mean, there is also the Legacy Collection, so I guess you can check it out there.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess Meme Chip Challenge is also like a Pokemon version. Okay, also Battle Chip Challenge. I also reacted to your short about it, and you said it's basically just like a watching. Well, it's not really a video game, but it's like a game you watch.
No, it's not a game I watch. I play the game. I play it for net battles and try to grind for like XP. And when trying to progress through the story, I use the walkthroughs as my guide because like there's not a lot of hints on what you need to do. Kind of annoying.
Hold on. Yeah, I'll talk about Battle Network. I'll talk about Mega Man Battle Chip Challenge.
Yeah, auto battler. Honestly, I'm not really that big of a fan of it. Like, mm, just watching your opponents strike instead of doing your own decisions, like randomization. but the plot is pretty interesting. He basically is in like a big tournament.
Hmm.
The whole game takes place in the tournament. So yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess the game just wants you to win a tournament, I guess.
Raid
Okay, so do you want to talk about um
Legends. I've never played the Mega Man Legends games, but I think it's extremely sad that Mega Man Legends 3 got canceled because it was actually going to end off the entire Mega Man series because Mega Man Legends takes place at the very end of the timeline. And Mega Man Legends 3 was basically going to be where, like, they resolved the conflict in Mega Man Legends 2. They finally, like, saved the world or something. But then it got canceled. All of the Mega Man fans were pissed off, and everybody was talking about how sad it was canceled. Even a bunch of other popular YouTubers at the time. It was really big when it got canceled.
yeah, I bet. I mean, from what I've heard, Mega Man Legends 2 ended on a cliffhanger, I believe.
Oh yeah,
And
Legends 2.
you can
I
continue.
watched like Captain Bus play the entirety of Mega Man Legends 2 on his streams. Looks like a really fun game. I had fun in the live streams.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, I haven't played them either since I'm not really into 3D. Like, I've heard it's like a Zelda Mega Man game, and I couldn't really get into Zelda. But I do have a PS copy of Mega Man Legends 1.
Yeah, I should have played after the other games. Because it's basically the ending of the finale of Mega Man.
Yeah, but sadly, the third game got cancelled. And from what I've heard from your sword, the Zero series, like the CX Advent, was going to get a sequel, but it got cancelled. Kind of like the same thing for Mega Man Legends. Mm.
Yes. Um, then there's Misadventures of Trombone, which is just there, which I actually thought wasn't a Mega Man game. That's what I used to think, but then I realized, like, Trombone is a Mega Man character, so it's like a spin-off. And, Trombone also looks fun to play.
Haven't seen much gameplay on Mega Man Legends, nor the Zero series, nor the Battle Network, to be honest. But from what I've heard, they kind of worth checking out, especially the Zero series.
Um, um, sorry, I had to check my comments because somebody actually, like, doxed me in my comment section, which is wild, but luckily I deleted the comment.
Okay, yeah, wow. Okay, good.
Um, I think Mega Man Legends, it looks fun. I might play it someday,
Yeah,
especially if they release a Mega Man Legends Legacy Collection, which is definitely probable.
yeah. Kind of like they're doing for the Star series. But who knows? Maybe they do a modern release of Legends 3. Who knows?
And, yeah, um, the, yeah. Mega Man Legends also has some pretty interesting looking characters in it.
Yeah. And from what I've
Mm.
heard, they might. From what I've heard, they also kind of did interesting stuff in the lore too.
Oh yeah, in the um, yeah, and also uh, the soundtrack in the Legend series is also amazing, like all of the other Mega Man games. Like, it's really, really great.
Yeah, almost well, maybe except for X7 and other stuff. It almost seems like almost every single Mega Man game has like a good soundtrack.
Mm, mm. Um, um, I don't really have anything else to say. I just hope that Capcom makes a new Mega Man game. That's my biggest wish, with all these news coming out.
Well, it seems like they're coming out with Mega Man Star Force and the Legacy Collection, and fingers crossed, hope it doesn't get canceled.
Yeah. So, do you want to end the video here?
Yeah. Anyways, my audience watching, I guess you, the Indomizer. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload. And also subscribe to my boy, the Indomizer here. He's a good YouTuber with good Mega Man videos. So make sure to subscribe to him. And I guess see you on the next one then.
Right, I'll see you all in the next one. And also make sure to check out my channel as well.
Yeah. So see y'all.
You just ended the recording? Alright.
So bye.